Words can't describe how proud I am of my Jaguar F-Type SVR rebuild. From where it's came to where it is now, I think this is the best project I've done to date. And I mean that in two ways. Firstly, in the quality of the car, and secondly, in the quality of the rebuild. But that's just my humble opinion. What really matters is the opinion of a professional. That's why last night I drove 2 hours north from Leicester to York and stayed in this Premier Inn behind me. And that's so we can get an opinion from Jaguar themselves. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous for this one, but I'm confident in the F-Type. But also, I'm kind of hoping they will find something for me to improve. Let's see what they got to say. So here we are. I guess it's judgment day for the Jag. We've now arrived at Jaguar York, the people that know more than anybody about these cars. And not only that, this branch is an SV specialist centre, meaning they should know the SVR like the back of their hand. As you can see, they've got a huge collection of Jaguar and Range Rover SVRs sat in the showroom, fetching a hefty price tag. But is my Category S insurance write-off F-Type SVR going to match the quality of these? Well, there is only one way to find out. So as I took into a complimentary coffee and brownie, the guys pulled the F-Type into the service centre to take a proper look. I know I keep saying this, but I cannot put into words how proud I am of this car and how good it's looking next to all of the other non-crashed cars under the lights at this dealership. But now it's time to scratch deeper beneath the surface. Rather than concentrating on just how this car looks, it's time to see the quality of the car and also the repair work. At this moment, tensions were high, my palms were sweaty, my knees were weak and my arms were heavy. I'm praying after all of the hours and hours of hard work that I've put into the car that there is no nasty shocks or surprises, because there is no good time to get these, especially when you're buying a used car. And that's exactly the reason why before I buy a car, every single time I'll check it out using Car Vertical. And this couldn't be easier with Car Vertical's brand new look and layout. All you have to do is type in your reg or VIN into Car Vertical's website. This is the report for my Jaguar F-Type SVR here. As we can see, it's got a green tick for theft, mileage and finance, but it does have an amber warning light for accidents. When you scroll a little bit further down, Car Vertical's new style of reports, you can see that they've checked over 31 countries to make sure that the car isn't stolen. There is also a mileage graph which goes from the date the car was manufactured, and if there is any unexpected dips here, this is where you'd see that the car had been clocked. And when you get down to the damage report, you can see the car was damaged one time and the car was marked as an insurance write-off. And it even tells you that it was a Category S insurance write-off a little bit further down too. And then finally, Car Vertical tells you everything you need to know about that car, from the make, the model variant, and also the year it was manufactured, the engine size, the gearbox, and also all the spec and options on the car as well. So you can see all of the options that have been ticked on my car, which it was then fitted with. Now in some examples, Car Vertical can also show you photos from when the car was damaged. So take for example this 2015 F-Type all-wheel drive. You can see here, very similar to my car, but you get to the photos section and you can see the car has had heavy front end impact. The airbags have also gone, and also it's had a wheel completely leave the chat. But luckily that was included with the sale, as you can see here. Now to make sure you don't buy a car which has been previously damaged or has hidden history, then make sure to use Car Vertical and use my discount code Chris, because that's going to save you a good chunk of cash off your Car Vertical report. But for now, thank you Car Vertical for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to checking over the Jag. So the Jag is now up and on the ramp, and we have our Jaguar service tech Richard, love to meet you my friend, and he is going to check over the car for us to see what sort of condition it's in and if there's anything else which we need to change. Now I'm already aware of one part which needs doing, and we have actually got that ready to go, and that is this under tray here. I know, well, it didn't survive the crash very well. I've managed to plastic weld it back together to a degree, but it's not in the best health. So we've got a new one here which is specific for an SVR, ready to go on the car. And do you want to do that first, or should we have a look over it first?
We'll do the tray first, I think.
Only tray first, no worries. That's first job sorted then, let's get on with it. So Richard starts by lifting the car in the air on the 4-post so we get better access to all of the bolts for the under tray. Once that was done, we had a collection of 8mm, T30s and 10mm to remove, which we both did. I'd use this part because it sort of survived the crash but definitely isn't usable long term, so I kind of bodged it back together for a temporary measure until the new under tray showed up, which is now here. So let's have a look at that one now this one's off. And now you can see why I wanted to change this. It's not good, is it?
No, it's not good. It's all broken.
It is, yeah. It's snapped.
Stitched back together.
Yeah, I've done that, to be honest with you. There's a temporary measure just to get me by for now. This was surprisingly cheap actually. It's only £150 for an SVR specific part. I didn't think was too bad. So we've got just one trim here to transfer over, which onto that one. We'll be good to go. Yep. So now it's on with the new under tray, and this one looks much better. Not only is it fresh and clean, but it's not damaged and also has the right fixing points to be able to attach it to the arch liners as well. Once the under tray itself was bolted up, there's these 3 little air dam pieces which we've got to get into place and get those bolted on there too. So new under tray is now on, and Richard's going to have a quick check around everything, see if there's anything that's untoward or not 100%, and well, I think we're going to make note of a few things that I might want to change further down the line by the looks of it. So like an absolute pro, Richard dives straight into the underbody inspection, inspecting every nut, bolt, arm, everything underneath there to make sure that this car has been repaired properly. And it doesn't take long for him to find something. As I said, what we're looking for here is things which could have been affected by the crash. We're going to have a quick check over the engine, but as this is such a low mileage car and only just out of warranty, we're not going to concentrate too hard on that area of the car. The main focus here is that the car is safe and that it's been repaired properly. So now Richard's underbody inspection is done around the front, so he starts turning his attention to the back of the car and checking out all of the suspension components there too. Now I'm pretty happy with the panel gaps on this car, but I was quite interested to get Richard's opinion and see if he thought they could be made any better than where they are now.
You could mess around for ages adjusting it, because if you adjust the bumper, then it not. Do you know what I mean? Because the bonnet drops over and becomes part of the wing. You get a lot of. Is it this bit? Is it that bit?
Yeah, no, it was such a nightmare trying to get it to line up. It was.
You've got to really concentrate on your door line. If you follow your door line,
I think we got this bit. Right. I think we got this really nice. But this is the new wing.
That's once you get this bit, we found if you get this wing and this bit here perfect. Then you can just play back with bumper. And the hole's bigger than the bolts, if you know what I mean. So there's a bit of
So now Richard has completed his inspection and is going off to make a report on my F-Type SVR, and we can then see what the quality of the repair is actually like and if there's anything else which I need to sort out. So this is James. James, nice to meet you, my friend. And you have the report which Richard has done on the F-Type SVR. So we're going to go through that right now in this very professional looking office. Very different to what I'm used to. So tell me, what have we got?
It's not too bad actually. So we're doing a traffic light system, green, red, ambers. Only one thing that we flagged up as red. It's the one you already know about, front windscreen being cracked.
So. I know, yeah. Blame Liam for that one.
Exactly, yeah. Oh,
he owes me £1,000.
Yeah, getting back for that. 5 things that are yellow. So amber stuff, not too bad, but things would flag up.
Yep.
Starting off with the bolts for the under tray that you fit today. Some of them missing and things. Just something to cover up.
Yeah, definitely.
Get those sorted in the future. Front brake pads around 5mm left on those, and there's some impact damage on the surface face of the outer of the disc.
Yes, we've just noticed that. So that's just like a very small chunk out of the disc face.
Yeah. Offside front low suspension arms, the plastic trim on that's slightly damaged. With the rear brakes as well, they're at 5mm, but the discs are okay on those.
Okay.
So that was alright. And the last little bit was there was a few of the diffuser bolts missing.
Okay.
Other than that, you've got 2 other reds, but they were for the tyres.
Yep. Okay.
Everything else was green: washers, wipers, lights, transmission. Everything else was perfect on it. So
lovely.
Done a good job there. Rear tyres.
Those rear tyres, they're not best. Yes, that launch control has been exercised well.
Had the use.
Yeah, so the main things now, the windscreen, which we've got
sorted.
We've got that booked in to be sorted. Rear tyres, which I've got some on the way, and what was the other red?
There was no other reds, just the ambers for the disc and pads.
Okay, yeah, so I'll get some
bolts
front disc and pads and some spare bolts. But all in, I'd say that's pretty good. But a dealership saying that I've not done too bad and I'm missing some bolts and a few tiny little bits, I'm pretty happy. I'd say that's a pretty decent score.
I'd be happy with that one.
So is there anything else on here that we need to go through?
No, that's it. You've got all your green ticks on there as well.
So we've got 2 reds, which we've got booked in. We've got 5 ambers, which we can sort pretty easy.
Pretty simple.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Green,
happy days. Well, appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Now, before we leave the dealership, there is someone I need you guys to meet.
I've got to shake your hand because without you, we wouldn't have been able to make this happen as easily. So this is Shane. He's been behind the scenes on the end of my phone, basically for everything I need for parts. Without you, I don't think we'd be having the car look like this, and you've probably saved me a good few £1,000. So I have got you a little treat in the boot, which you're either more welcome to share with your colleagues or take home. So for reasons because of YouTube, I'm not going to say what we've got here, but there's a box of drinks. So that is yours, and also it's nothing fancy, but some dairy milk for you as well, mate. I really appreciate your help. It's, as I say, without you, I don't think we'd be able to get this as far as we have, and to as good a standard as we have. So really appreciate it. So all in all, I don't think that's a bad score for the F-Type. There's a few little bits which we didn't know about, which we do now know and can fix. Which is precisely the reason why I bought the car here. It wasn't to show off how good a repair I've done, it was to find those last final little details to take this car from being good to being great, or as near to perfect as I can possibly get it. As we already mentioned, we've got the front windshield cracked, which is getting progressively worse, which we've booked in for next Tuesday to be sorted. Richard did manage to find a little bit of impact damage just here on the disc, which I completely missed, which should probably be sorted. The rear tyres also are showing a little bit of wear and tear, not so much on tread depth, but if I'm honest, that might be from me testing out the launch control a few too many times. And then the final thing was a tiny bit of damage to the plastic on one of the suspension arms, which essentially just works to redirect a bit of air. Richard the tech said this is probably from being driven on and off a curb a few times. They easily get caught because it's quite a low slung part. Oh, and for those of you curious, I did manage to fix my glove box issue in the end. It was just another faulty glove box. I think what happens with these is because they're electronically controlled, when the cars get involved in a crash and the battery is disconnected, people just want to get into them, so they just stick some in there, pry them open, and I think it damages the mechanism. But we've got a new one in and this one works perfectly. I also managed to get the new rear towing eye on, which obviously was a very quick job, and also the gas struts for the bonnet, so it now holds itself open. But all in all, that is a pretty minor list of things to do, especially considering this is only the 4th car I've ever repaired, and we've done it in my garage at home. But for now, I need to get a few bits ordered, and I need to say a special thank you to Jaguar Land Rover York, who have hosted me and also helped me out from start to finish with finding the parts for this build and making sure I get everything right along the way. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, even if it was a little bit easier. But we now have the final checklist of bits to do, so this car is officially ready for its road trip. But for now, make sure you do like this video, hit subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you next time.